But let's continue here tonight. A feature of this year's local government elections is, of course, the growth of independent candidates and smaller parties. A decision was made to go ahead with the poll despite some of the concerns raised in the Moseneke report about the impact of COVID-19. Dr B.J. Langa is the mayoral candidate for Tshwane. This is for the Ecofourm party. He joins me now. Dr. Langa, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Firstly, let's talk about, your walk or your rise into politics. What actually pulled you into being part of this movement, like the one which you represent today, and taking on the issues of Tshwane and putting your hand up to actually be elected as mayor?
Good evening, Kathy, and the kingdom greetings to all your viewers. And thank you for having me tonight. Kathy, we all know that leaders are born, and at times, even if you try to tailor them and cut a certain material and try to restrain them to become such, hence in the end, you find a guerrilla kind of a result where if you are not a leader or being born and preordained to lead, you might find it more to be big-headed. Hence, we're having people who are now imposing mafiaism, especially in the politics. Now, to me, having to serve in the SADC and doing conferencing and the work for economic emancipation, coming back from Zimbabwe 1 year, 2014, we started to hear a voice that says go to parliament. And I know at times when you are called into such a spectrum whereby people are becoming animalistic and there's no respect one for another, you ask yourself questions what you're putting yourself into. But until a vision was being put down to say go for prophetic governance or godly governance, now meaning that politics were born even in South Africa from out of the church. Hence, in the beginning, the chiefs and the priests, the reverends, were the four runners of this politics. Now, we find certain isms taking over. Now, politics are becoming unpleasant. Remember, politics are made out of polity, whether it is moreover talking of government for the people and by the people. But now it has become meaning such of I would say, a kind of a propaganda that is being pushed by men and women who have no heart for the people. So now, hence now in these local elections, we are saying, let there be a rise or the emergence of a new breed, of leadership. And then that's how we started. 2019, we went for national general elections, and we came out 0.04%. We laid our altar there to make sure that we also bring awakeness in the churches, and because the church is an important institution in the nation, and make sure that they come and they woke and they are awake to the call, because realize that they are not only called for preaching and other, but they are called to lead the communities. Hence, one of the texts that are contextual in the word that says, meaning I will open quote and close that, when a righteous man leads, the city rejoices. So we are looking for men and women that comes in modest and humility, and moreover coming out to deliver the heart of God. And if that can be the case, you would see many things that are ill, stricken, kind of diabolic positions we find ourselves in will come to a fix.
All right.
So now that position as a government of Ecofourm.
So you then are tasked with the responsibility now as a contender in Tshwane of getting as many people to buy into this message as possible. Talk to me about campaigning. How has that been under COVID-19? What have you been doing to try and get your message out there?
To be honest, Kathy, we began after the national general elections on the ground level and dealing with the ground force, and moreover, we came to an understanding that we don't need election in order to change the lives of the people. So we started doing the groundwork and raising our membership, and moreover getting into partnership with communities on projects that we believe that are needed in our communities for economic reforms. And now, when we were hit in 2020 based on this, amid pandemic, yes, one can tell that there was more of a, I would say, a strain that comes with it. And we never knew that we'll end up here. But now, because of the knowledge that we all have, now, pandemics are not to us a rarity. It's not a scarcity. Pandemics have been there even from the church time and been dealt with accordingly, and people goes on with their lives. But this particular pandemic, it has now become suspicious. The reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because now the suspicion on the pandemic is that there is more kind of a autocratic behavior that is so spontaneous, and we see it whether it comes from the highest office and going to the lowest office, and now it turns this pandemic into a regime. That's why even now when you look at the smaller parties who will not be able to partake the way they were supposed to, because they realize that when it comes to elections and we need to go out for funding and we need to go out and begin to spread the word, and it has not been, because now we can't even reach out to the people now.
Sure, but small parties are not the only ones that would have been experiencing such a problem. I think we hear those concerns across the board.
No, I do understand, but remember the 13 parties in the parliament are grandly getting, moreover, there is, I would say it's favor just sitting in the assembly, and they are open out to any situation or any kind of work or many bills that needs to be passed. They are partakers, and they comment, they bring their flags on the on the telecast, and people see them, they talk about issues. And now the emerging parties, remember, even the ANC was a smaller party, and it was actually treated the way they are treating this party. So now we need to absolutely make an assurance, because there could be a narrative that comes from a smaller party that can change the whole lot of this elephant that we have in the room.
How many members do you have now, Dr. Langa? How many members do you have now?
We are now running to 80-something thousand members, ma'am. We were at 12,000 in 2019. And then, as I said to you, that we thought now we can't wait for elections. Now, that's why I don't think you've seen it for the first time. We have been doing this. Why? And we have been talking about this even before prior, COVID-19.
All right.
Now, reasons are we knew what we stand for, and moreover, knowing the calamity that we are actually facing even when it comes to media. So if we don't have that coverage to come out there, and we are working on megalomania kind of attitudes, then it means we are bringing the mega. Imagine what could have happened if ANC never got a chance to talk, as little as they were looking in those days.
All right, Dr. Langa, we're going to have to leave it there for tonight. Dr. Langa, he is a member of the Ecofourm. He's the Ecofourm party president, rather, and he's also their mayoral candidate for the city of Tshwane. We certainly wish you all of the very best.